What's going on, everybody? It's me, Isaiah. It's Cactus, and I'm back with another chapter we got on the young and overintelligent here. Anyway, so last time they were planning on going to have a dinner with Kakashi Sensei so they can see his face. Naruto's trying to tap into Sage mode in just a split second so that he could, catch Kakashi off guard, you know what I'm saying? Maybe see something he never thought he'd see, which is gonna be very underwhelming. He just has a small little mole on his face. That's it. So let's start. Despite Naruto's protests for him to stay, Sasuke spent the day in a neighboring pleasure district. It was a noisy place, just as he remembered it from the day he first saw Itachi since his clan's downfall. There didn't seem to be much in need of assistance, but he did manage to break up a drunken bar fight. Wondering the entire time who the hell gets drunk enough to get into a bar fight in the middle of an afternoon. These day drinkers. The bartender was kind to him for it, and which was useful ally for Sasuke to have his own type of work. So he didn't consider a day a total waste. The sun was setting and he arrived back in Konoha, making the bright orange of Naruto's jacket more obnoxious and easier to track than usual. He and the other members of Team 7 were hanging around on top of a building. Kakashi was quick to sense him, which was unfortunate because he felt like he could have used much more time to calm the snake squirming around in his stomach. Or his pants. He leaned on a rooftop to Naruto beaming at him, laughing way too obviously for Sasuke's liking. "Hey, Sasuke!" Looking around suspiciously, Sasuke frowned. Why are they on a roof of a building? And Naruto failed his end of the mission and wasn't able to lure Kakashi into a restaurant. "I'd rather not do this outside," he insisted, glaring daggers, trying to telepathically chastise Naruto with questions. Did Naruto say that or Sasuke? How odd, Kakashi pondered, and Sasuke clenched his teeth. "We'd figured we'd give you a chance to run away, but if you prefer to come inside, we can do that too." He was smiling that fake smile, the one that he always uses when he's trying to manipulate someone. Though it was unsettling, Sasuke took it as a sign that the door coming out of the ground would lead into where they would be eating. Door coming out of the ground? Elevator? What do you mean? It wouldn't do to have Kakashi think he hadn't won, so Sasuke glared at him. What are you doing? He spat convincingly. Boisterously, Naruto tossed an arm around Sasuke's shoulder, pulling him in further into the room. Your note said to meet you someplace private. Private? Yeah, no, it's not Naruto. Your note said to meet someplace private. This is private and we get to eat. He turned his glare on the idiot, whose arm felt exceptionally heavy on top of him. Is this not okay? I tried to tell them you probably didn't want us to do all this. Oh, sorry. Is this not okay? I tried to tell them you probably didn't want us to do all this, Sakura consoled, hopping in front of them too. You must have something important to say. Is everything okay? He swallowed thickly at her intense concern, his glare now decidingly at the ground. Shit. He implored that idiot to say something and anything like he had instructed him to do when Sakura tried to get him to talk too early. As the seconds ticked by, he had no choice but to fix his eyes on Naruto, who's startled. Come on, Sakura. Let's sit down. Come on, Sakura, let's sit down a bit before all that. He waved at her, lightly pushing against her shoulders to usher her toward the table. We got all this food to get through. A fist collided with the side of Naruto's head as Sakura turned to nag. Don't be so insensitive. Is food all you think about? As Sasuke watched Naruto cower, he couldn't help but feel grateful that Naruto was Naruto. Anyone who was naturally more astute would have been suspicious. Acting this way, having his part to play, Sasuke clenched his jaw, letting his embarrassment show. But only slightly. At the table, Kakashi chuckled. Sakura, don't worry, we got all night. He turned to Sasuke. Unless you, of course, had somewhere else you'd rather be. Predictable, cornering him by guilt. It felt good knowing that Sasuke was turning Kakashi's manipulation tactic back against him. He tutted at the ground. He tutted at the ground in response, still keeping his embarrassed facade. Fine. Fine. He spat, taking his predetermined seat across from his old teacher and sitting on the ground in a huff. Kakashi had called him a moody teenager last time, after all. And now all Naruto had to do was excitedly take his seat next to him, on a diagonal from his older teacher. This would be the best angle for Naruto to be in to get a clearer view of Kakashi's face without being directly in front of him. It was diagonal by Kakashi's left eye, which would have been an issue in the past, but thankfully the eye was no longer a Sharingan. This might have been impossible had he still had a Sharingan regardless. It still wasn't so much about staying out of Kakashi's sight, as it was distracting him from sensing the surge of chakra that came from Sage Mode. Alright, let's eat! Naruto finally piped up just as Sasuke started to worry that Sakura was going to take his seat. But thankfully, he reached it just moments before her, nearly pushing her aside. He made it obvious. Naruto, Sakura scolded. She trailed off, fortunately, looking dejected by taking the seat next to Kakashi. Never mind. Sasuke was glad that she didn't put up a fight, but he didn't feel like being mean to her tonight. He would have had to interrupt at some point. With the seating in order, Sasuke had nothing left to do but dwell on what was to be said. Thankfully, he had time to spare, acting nervous as they all began to fill their plates. Banking on Naruto to fill the silence, which he did, perhaps too much, but maybe that wasn't so bad. Kakashi, predictably, was only scrutinizing Sasuke. Thankfully, their old teacher had plenty of practice turning out Naruto's prattle, that it became a second nature and would work in his favor tonight. So then Kakashi waited. He wondered at first how long it would take, but sure enough, some 10 seconds passed and Sakura interrupted Naruto's babbling. Staring, fixated, and determined at Sasuke, "Naruto," she scolded, "you're making this hard for Sasuke. Can't you see he wants to say something?" It was that moment then. Expertly, Sasuke averted his gaze to the floor opposite where Naruto was sitting, successfully drawing everyone else's attention with him. He meant to speak here, but for some reason he opened his mouth and nothing but a small choked sound came out. He clenched his jaw. Why could he feel heat coming up to his cheeks now? This is not part of the plan. Stupid plan. Why had he agreed to this? A weight hit his shoulders at the way Kakashi was looking at him. Don't be so bashful for the first time in your life now. Don't be getting bashful for the first time in your life now. Prep. There were real butterflies in his stomach. He cursed himself not being able to come up with a better excuse for wanting to talk to his whole team. But everything else he had come up with was either too engaging or out of character for Sasuke to go to all of the trouble. No, this was the only thing. It had been something he would be embarrassed to ask, and it had to be superficial but not out of character. Swallowing the lump in his throat, Sasuke managed. I'm turning 18 soon. Feeling the rest of the team's eyes blinking slowly at him, Sasuke tried to formulate the cover story he had meticulously prepared. It took him longer than anticipated. Yeah, on the 23rd, right? Sakura fed him. Before the pain in his stomach got any worse, Sasuke found himself blurring out, "My clan used to have a tradition." And feeling the heat escalate in his face, it hit him now that this was, in fact, out of character for him. He would never do something this embarrassing. Oh? Kakashi reacted, intrigued. He kept his face turned away from Naruto to draw attention elsewhere, but made sure Kakashi was in his peripherals. For our 18th birthday, we would hold a bit of a ceremony. There used to be a tree in our part of the village. Members of the immediate family would be there to take the leaf off of it and light a floating lantern with the honor of the Uchiha who lived to be an adult. I don't think that the tree is still there anymore, though. The rest of the table went chillingly silent. Sasuke felt like something was squirming up his spine, and speaking was starting to become painful at the thought. So he didn't. It was a tradition for your clan? Sakura muttered, almost to herself, which made Sasuke coil inward. I never knew you guys had that tradition. Kakashi all but marveled. Sasuke's ears perked, noting the way it didn't sound suspicious, how it was quite revered. He had a lot of traditions that he kept secret from the rest of the village. Oh, sorry. We had a lot of traditions we kept. We had a lot of traditions we kept secret from the rest of the village. He supplied. It was a lie. It wasn't anything big or flashy like some of our others, so I doubt you would have heard about it. As out of character Sasuke thought this plan was, it seemed to be working. So he forced to concede that maybe it wasn't too out of character. At least of what Kakashi and Sakura saw of him. Now is Naruto's moment to enter stage mode. While Kakashi was completely engaged and absent-mindedly picking at his plate, piecing together Sasuke's narrative, any moment now, he would have chose to take a bite, too distracted by the notion that Sasuke, you want us to go with you in place of your family? Rage boiled inside him as he involuntarily snapped his head towards Naruto the precious moment, where no one would possibly be paying attention to him. The reason Sasuke was sitting here making an absolute fool of himself vanished as a shadow clone pierced by a blade. The absolute idiot. He completely lost sight of the entire point of tonight, falling for the facade he had known Sasuke was going to be planning. No, it wasn't over. Sasuke wasn't going to let that slip ruin the plan. They had barely started dinner. He glared at Naruto, sending waves of his inner thoughts over until he finally seemed to understand. His big blue eyes going round before casting away. Scoffing, Sasuke now settled with the fact that he would have to stretch this out longer than he should have to. He made his mind up on the best way to do so, on the spot. Whatever, forget about it. He spat as he stood up, not quite having to act out his desire to flee. As predicted, Sakura stood up with him, desperately flinging herself across the table for a long, awkward reach at his sleeve, which he allowed her to grab. Wait, Sasuke, we all love to come to your ceremony. Why don't you tell us more about it a bit so we can know what to do? In reality, that wouldn't have kept Sasuke from leaving, but it seemed to be the best that she had to offer. So he sat back down, wishing that he hadn't blushed this much. I won't say I'm not surprised. Kakashi spoke evenly. Sasuke surveyed him. But I'm certainly touched. Oh no, Sasuke knew that was coming. Whatever. He found himself saying again, disgruntled at what he knew was about to happen. I mean, for us to take part of a... Sorry, this is Kakashi. I mean, for us to take part of a coveted Uchiha tradition and play the part of your family, no less. It's truly an honor for us outsiders. I had no idea you thought of us this way. His eyes shut happily, indicating that he was smiling under his mask. Say, does that make me the father? Sasuke envisioned abandoning the plan in favor of smacking Kakashi in the face for the blunt side of the table. I kid. I'm much too young for that. Kakashi teased. Begrudgingly, Sasuke was forced to realize that he had a plan that the plan was working. This is the exact mood Sasuke knew he needed to have their old teacher in for him to completely ignore the change in chakra flowing coming from beside them. As Sakura scolded their teacher for making light of what must have been really hard for Sasuke to ask them, Kakashi shrugged almost gleefully. And then he did it. Sasuke watching carefully with the Rinnegan, something he would see regardless of if he wanted to or not, as if it was in slow motion. Kakashi's fingers danced over the top of his mask, chopsticks with a dumpling in his hand. All Sasuke could do was urge Naruto in his mind, but finally a wave of chakra came through. Yes, Kakashi, unthinking, carefree, and unaware, somehow that his normal blabbermouth student was going to beat him at stealth for the very first time in their lives, pulled down the front of his mask. The moment was quick, as it always was, but Sasuke's eye could pause the moment in time just long enough. The scar running most of the way down his cheek, a thin, straight nose, a smile perhaps a little wider than he anticipated, accompanied with a small dot just under the corner of his left side. Then the mask was back up. Sasuke's heart felt like it had stopped beating for the anticipation. Had they done it? Had Kakashi noticed the surge of chakra? The surge of chakra was still present. The surge of chakra was still present. Why had Naruto not reverted yet? Logically, he knew only milliseconds had passed, but those are milliseconds that Kakashi would have absolutely picked up on. What was this idiot doing? Quickly, Sasuke gave a swift punch to Naruto's thigh under the table. Naruto startled, but managed to revert from stage mode only just in time. The idiot. Kakashi, who carelessly had his eyes closed in that smug expression the entire time, had not seen anything, but that didn't mean he couldn't smell the chakra with that superior nose of his. Sure enough, Sasuke could see Kakashi's nose twitch. Damn it. Naruto? Naruto? Kakashi asked, his mouth still full of dumpling, and it was all Sasuke could do but tell himself not to panic. For some reason, Naruto hit his face in a direct opposite of both his teacher and Sasuke. Bathroom. He excused lamely, but all but bolting into a bustling restaurant. Sasuke stared at his empty seat, bewildered. What's with him all of a sudden? Sakura mused, eyebrows knitted in confusion. Scoffing, Sasuke did his best to control his anger in him that was flaring at Naruto. What the hell was he doing? He managed to see Kakashi's face. How was Sasuke supposed to play this off? Who knows? Sasuke settled on, crossing his arms bitterly at the fact that Naruto was allowed to flee from this awful conversation while Sasuke was stuck here alone. What could he possibly be thinking to leave like that? Would Kakashi be able to figure out what had just happened? Instead of analyzing Naruto, Kakashi was watching Sasuke with a concerningly leveled expression. I figured you of all people would be able to understand, Sasuke. This had Sasuke blinking to his teacher. What the hell do you mean by that? It was easy now to see the ghost of his face under the mask, when the image was still so fresh in his mind. What it's like when you're an orphan to have someone call you family. Sasuke's body didn't feel like his own. Logically, he knew that the nails digging into his bicep were his, but neither the pain in his fingers nor his biceps seemed to belong to him. How absurd. As if Kakashi knew what the goal for this dinner had actually been. As if both he and Naruto hadn't just beaten him at a game he didn't even know they were playing. Like the lie Sasuke had planted was real. Like Naruto wasn't just as in on Sasuke's lie as he was. Family? Orphans? Whatever. But that still begged the question as to why Naruto deserted him so suddenly. Certainly Naruto knew Sasuke had made everything up. Did Naruto think that bullshit ceremony was real? Let alone something Sasuke would want to partake in with anyone other than his long-since dead parents or brother? Or had something else happened that deterred the plan? Had Naruto even been able to see their old teacher's face? Unable to leave these questions unanswered for another moment, Sasuke stood up briskly, annoyed beyond reason that the idiot was making him do this. I'm gonna go find him. Damn Naruto, making him play in the part of the orphan longing for his dead family, making him weak in front of his old teammates, letting Kakashi think that he's getting the better of him, letting Sakura think that this was emotionally driven as he stalked through the busy restaurant. He added, making me show my face to all these other people, to the list. Pushing the swinging door of the bathroom aside, Sasuke found Naruto staring desolately into the sink, water wistfully flowing down the drain. It looked like he had splashed it on his face before forgetting he lived in this plane of existence. Hey, dumbass, Sasuke deadpanned. Unprepared, Sasuke flinched backwards as suddenly Naruto was in his face, the water from the tap flowing. Why didn't you warn me? What? Naruto's face was close to his, looking hysterical. It was unnerving on multiple levels. Heart fluttering in a panic, Sasuke thought of the worst. Had Naruto actually been this affected by Sasuke's fake insinuating his familial bond? Did Naruto think that he had been serious? Sasuke had not considered that he might have to warn his teammate about what topic he was going to use to distract their teacher. Kashi-sensei! Now Sasuke is thoroughly confused. Why didn't you tell me he was that hot? You know what? I didn't want to say it. But dead ass, that's what I was thinking. I was like, did he get a Did he get a fucking chub? Seeing Kakashi's face? That's what I was thinking the entire time. Since he got up and left, I was like, was he attracted to Kakashi-sensei? Is that why he left? But I didn't want to say anything because I was like, no, it's probably the family thing, right? That makes more sense, but no, this is fucking Naruto. Of course. Sasuke was having an out-of-body experience. Naruto obviously continued to rip at his hair, now pacing back and forth. Like I always knew Kakashi-sensei was attractive, but I always thought that it was just a mystery of not knowing his face actually looked like. I mean, how was I supposed to know that he was hiding all of this? He was hiding all of this time, lived up to what he was hiding. All this time lived up to the expectations. It's bad enough he's such a good fighter. He's such a good fighter and effortlessly cool. Let alone the fact that he's also Hokage. That he's actually that attractive under his mask? He huffed out, crouching down on the ground with his hands over his head as if he's trying to protect himself from something. He's the second most attractive guy he's ever seen. Naruto whined, suddenly turning around to give his biggest stink eye towards Sasuke. Right behind you. Naruto whined, suddenly turning. He's the second most attractive guy I've ever seen. Naruto whined, suddenly turning around to give the biggest stink eye towards Sasuke. Right behind you. You know what? That's fair, because in canon, he was glazing. He was glazing crazy on Sasuke. Hold on, I want to see if I can do a TikTok live. Is it alright? Are we live in the flesh tonight? I hope nothing crazy happens so that I can actually keep this stream up. But who knows? Something wild could easily happen. In the process. In the process of making model of this shit. Alright, we're live. Daily ranking? Alright. See how it looks on the other thing. Because I'm also recording. Okay, this still is doing its thing. That's good. Don't want to lose any progress. Where's that? Okay. Why didn't you tell me he was hot? Sasuke was having an out-of-body experience. Naruto obviously continued. I already read this. Oh yeah, right behind you. Rooted in his spot, Sasuke tried to piece together this new information, but nothing was lining up. His brain was desolate. Naruto let out a noise of frustration, clamping his head again before turning around in the dirty bathroom. In the dirty-ass bathroom. Floor to pout bitterly up. At Sasuke, his bottom lip so pink, jutting out in frustration. Why does he act like a kid? Yes, it's like a little ass kid sometimes. You could have at least warned me. I almost had a heart attack. His arms went for. Okay, sorry. As Naruto does. His arms in front of him in defense, but there's no way he could block this absurd attack. What are you talking about? What are you talking about, dumbass? He said through the sandpaper in his throat. He's not that attractive. At Sasuke's words, Naruto's demeanor fell with his shoulders, replaced with something akin to defeat. Not that attractive. Naruto repeated in a squeaky mumble. Of course he's not that attractive to you. Look at you. I mean, look at you, so hot and mysterious. He has a fat dick. Sasuke demeanor, well, looks defeated. He gestured vaguely to Sasuke's pathetic defensive stance. His last three words, feeling like physical damage to both of them. But don't say weird stuff. Sasuke attempted to bring some sanity back to the conversation. But Naruto ignored him, slumping down further on the ground by leaning his face against the stall wall. Just as unsettling to watch as it was unsanitary. You don't understand what it's like for the rest of us trying to get by. What the hell are you talking about? It's no wonder he keeps his face hidden, Naruto exclaimed. The fire back in him. It's no wonder he keeps his face hidden, Naruto exclaimed, the fire back in him, in a way that gave Sasuke whiplash. Can you imagine if he just strutted around the place with that face? He'd be mobbed by every woman in the country. He wouldn't be able to leave his house. You can get away with it. You can get away with it because your personality's piss poor and scares everyone away. Imagine if you're also like a nice person. That's funny. He owed him. Imagine if you're like not a dickhead. This was an impossible conversation. There's no way this conversation is happening. Despite himself, Sasuke couldn't keep the innumerous memories of all the girls who have thrown themselves at him at bay. The memories only frustrated him more because who the hell cared what he looked like? Who the hell cared what Kakashi looked like? Why did it matter? Why was Naruto on the floor having a mental breakdown over it? Over Kakashi? What on earth possessed Naruto that made him have such an opinion of either of their appearances? And if it doesn't matter, why did Naruto think that he was so beneath him? The fuck? Sasuke banished his train of thought, clenching his teeth. He felt his lip twitch. Hey, get up off the ground. I don't want to talk to you. Why is he acting like this? I don't want to talk to you in your pretty face. What? Pretty boy face. Mind you, this is Naruto from like the last era, by the way. I just need to. This is not 13-year-old Naruto. This is the line with TikTok live section under. What the fuck? Appeal that shit. TikTok, you be getting on my fucking nerves with this shit. I understand it, but you too straight. This is reading. Reading. Fanfic. Afafic. It's still gonna be like that. No, I should do this later on in the day, actually, now that I think about it. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna do this later on in the day. We're probably gonna be on chapter 4 at that time. But it don't matter, we still got this recorded. Sasuke bent. I don't want to talk to you in your pretty boy face. Stop saying weird things. Sasuke shouted too loudly, catching himself. Stop saying weird things, Sasuke shouted, catching himself. Sasuke ran his hand absent-mindedly through his bangs, pushing them back for a reason. Naruto only squinted harder as he did it. Get off the ground, he demanded again, because, damn it, if you didn't take control of this conversation, they think we're getting emotional in here, because we're both orphans. You have to go out there before anyone thinks there's something else even more embarrassing. Naruto was silent for a moment, still squinting. What? Sighing out of his anger, Sasuke bent down to yank Naruto's wrist and pull him up to his feet. Come on, don't fuck this up don't fuck this up and make it more suspicious than you already have. I can't go out there, Naruto exclaimed, pulling his arm out of Sasuke's grip once he had his balance again. I'm not gonna be able to look at Kakashi Sensei's face in a mask for a month. Get over yourself, Sasuke implored him. You're gonna blow the whole mission. We can't let Kakashi know we plotted this, all so we can see his face. Not when we're winning. He had a trump card. I walked right into his trump card. He had a trump card, and I walked right into his trump card. Naruto said shakingly, as if the realization was doing him damage. This is the price I have to pay for looking at forbidden things. Naruto, Sasuke gripped Naruto's left arm, shaking him in the hopes of some sense would be stirred up in him. Looking at you this close only makes it worse. Did Sasuke or Naruto say that? Like he was burned, Sasuke let go of Naruto's upper arm. Something thick and slimy wiggled in his stomach, making him almost nauseous. He had to mentally tell himself to breathe in and out. Cautious, his heartbeat. Cautious. Control his heartbeat. How dumb. He was annoyed, that's all. So then go out there and don't look at anyone then. It's bad? Let them think it's because you're in shock. The hell do I care? He left the bathroom before it crushed inward on them. He didn't care if Naruto was following him, but he better have been following him. He was in no place to make any sense of the redundancy, instead, choosing to find his way back to the table. Naruto followed him like a marionette. It was by the grace of the universe it didn't blow up in their faces. Sasuke couldn't contemplate how their exact demeanor could reflect the reality Kakashi and Sakura believed, as it only made sense to him in theory. Naruto couldn't keep eye contact with any of them because he realized he had found family and all that crap. He was realizing Sasuke thought of him like a brother or whatever. Let them believe that Naruto was that kind of sap. The grating thing was them somehow believing that Sasuke could possibly be on that same sappy, drippy, syrupy level. Did they not know him? Sasuke had a brother? He didn't want another one to attempt to live up to him. The meal ended, and somehow Kakashi, being the most enthusiastic of them all, at least it meant that he was completely oblivious to the mission. Success. A small consolation, except not at all. Sasuke was eager to leave, disappearing the moment he set foot outside without a goodbye to any of them. He didn't want to wait around to hear Kakashi say something awful about families and orphans again. He had every intention of leaving the village, but as he approached the gate, he could feel that stupid, thick, slimy thing back in his stomach, like a snake. Naruto's words echoed in him, calling him pretty boy and somehow insinuating that he's the most attractive man he had ever seen? The fuck does that even mean? Sasuke knew he had what other people thought was an appealing face. He never understood what that meant. What makes someone attractive? What makes someone fall into a panic attack in the public restroom simply by seeing their face? He tried to imagine what Naruto had seen that was so different than what Sasuke had. Kakashi's face was symmetrical. His skin was smooth, he guessed. His nose was the center and kinda tall on his face. But what did any of those attributes mean? And how did Sasuke's face compare in such ways to be somehow considered better? Damn Naruto. It's frustrating enough when it was just girls who flocked to him, giggling superficially, trying to demand his attention, all because they thought he is pleasing to look at. Why would he want to be that kind of people? Why would he want to be kind to those people who only wanted to talk to him because of the way he looks? But somehow Naruto having an opinion on it, that was something different. They knew each other inside out. They could read each other so perfectly in battle and even out of it. Naruto never commented on finding Sasuke's face appealing in any way before. He has, just not in front of Sasuke. Well, kinda has. If there's the Kishimoto drawing is to go by anything. What's going on? Hey, it's me. I'm back. And, I took a little break, obviously. I did an outfit change. It is the same day. Totally not 3 days later. Yeah. Alright, so, listen. Friday. It's Friday. I just came back from my job. Let's read some motherfucking fan fiction. So last time I was here, I think I was at... He was forced to concede that it had been some type of universal fact that he was attractive. If Naruto, of all people, truly thought so, and by the way, he was so close to some weird breaking point, he did. And by the way, he was so close to some weird breaking point, he did. Then perhaps it was a reality that he just couldn't understand. It wouldn't do to dwell on this. It was all meaningless, but still, the snake in his stomach retched. It was getting late, and Sasuke would have to find some place to set up camp for the night. He turned back longingly, thinking of his mattress. He had slept in that bed just last night. There's no way he'd let himself have the kind of luxury of 2 nights in a row. as tempting as it was. And besides, Naruto would say more dumb things tonight. He found himself pushing the window open again. Naruto's on their bed, hugging their pillow to their chest, and pouting with that pink lip I still don't want to talk to you. He scowled in lieu of a greeting. You know how I feel about I'm mixed on this characterization of Naruto. I'm a little mixed on it. I don't hate it, but it's like, it's hard not to notice. He found himself pushing the window. Sorry. I don't want to talk to you either. I don't talk to you either. He's just such a baby. Sasuke replied, already shaking out the pajama bottoms that he last night, unruffling them from their crumpled floor. They didn't exchange a word for half an hour. Sasuke opted to take another bath while he still had hot water at his disposal. He had just taken one last night, and he ignored this fact. He also ignored the way Naruto had his back to him when he returned, spooning the pillow, until he was faced with the reality that he would have to use that pillow to sleep. "We have that pillow," he stated, more than asked. For a moment, Sasuke didn't think he was going to give it to him. But then Naruto tossed it up by the headboard. Sasuke sighed, stubbornly mumbling, "It's my pillow," as he did. "Whatever," Sasuke responded, pointedly facing the wall as he lay down. The moment his head hit the pillow, a rush of Naruto smell hit his nose, wafting out from it. Frustrated, he tried to ignore it. Eventually, Naruto got up, and by the rustling noise, it sounded like he had gotten changed right there behind him. Sasuke didn't turn around to see. The light now off, Sasuke forced himself to at least enjoy the wonderful mattress under him. Lushness he should not have been experiencing for 2 nights in a row, he sighed. Just as he was starting to truly relax, inching closer to that beautiful sleep he craved, Naruto spoke somber. "Why didn't you tell me?" Sasuke's eyes shot open. He clenched his fist into his pillow, where his hand lay. "I'm not gonna have this weird conversation again." "No, Naruto flustered. "I'm at the ceremony." Bewildered, Sasuke's body turned over in his confusion, without any direction from his logical mind. "What are you talking about?" "You should have told me before dinner about your clan's tradition, so that I could have been more prepared. I've almost forgotten the mission. I think it's really cool that you want us to be there for that." Naruto. Sorry, Naruto said sternly, and Naruto faced him, blonde eyelashes. Does he have blonde eyelashes or black? Blonde eyelashes. I don't like that. Let's give him brown. Or, blonde eyelashes look so weird. Barely glistening from the lights of the village outside, streaming in through the window. "I made it up." Naruto blanched. "What do you mean you made it up?" he exclaimed too noisily for the previously hushed room. "Of course I made it up. Of course I made it up. Uchiha never had a tradition so shallow." He was whining again. "So you mean you didn't entrust us with standing in for your family?" "My family's dead. Why would I want people to imitate them?" Suddenly, the room went quiet again. Sasuke found Naruto's dejected expression. "What?" he demanded. Shrugging, Naruto fixated on a stray thread at the corner of his pillow. "I don't know. Sometimes it's nice when I'm around Iruka-sensei." So Naruto was a sap. Not that Sasuke had any doubt, but he had expected to have a more similar disposition about this topic after everything they had been through, and said in battle. They did not consider each other brothers. "It's different for you," he reminded darkly. "Yeah, it is." Naruto agreed heavily. Good. And at least he was still aware of the fact that I don't know what it's like to have a brother. No, he didn't. There was still a part of Sasuke that resented Naruto for that. He wasn't sure anymore if it was because he didn't have to experience the pain of losing one or not, or perhaps now it had morphed into something different. He realized, remembering Kakashi's words from earlier in the night. Perhaps it had something to do with having the choice of finding a family on his own. But That was a fucked up way of looking at it, so Sasuke chose not to. But I think I've learned a lot. Oh no, sorry, that's Naruto. But I think I learned a lot about it. Humorously, Sasuke huffed a dry chuckle. Is that so? Is that so? From hearing your brother's story. Sasuke blinked at him in darkness. He was facing the ceiling, left hand still picking at the thread absentmindedly. I could see why he did what he did to protect you. His chest felt like there were weights on the top of it at the topic. Something that was supposed to be disengaged, a bit unsuccessfully. I think I might have done the same thing if I were him. No, you wouldn't have. Sasuke shut down immediately despite himself. He found that it was hard not to smirk. You'd have found some idiotic way to save everyone. At this, Naruto grinned widely, meeting Sasuke's gaze. Yeah, actually I would. It was too painful to imagine the situation, but somehow Sasuke was still suppressing the upward quirk in his lips. What an awful thing to think about. But I meant more along the lines of doing anything necessary to... Oh, sorry, Naruto. But I meant more along the lines of doing anything necessary to protect you. Sasuke... The snake? Sasuke the snake. The snake was back again. Slimy, thick, and coily around his stomach. Sasuke swallowed roughly, finding it easier to keep it at bay, if he closed his eyes. Anything necessary to protect him. That may be true in Naruto's sense of the word. Anything. But Sasuke knew the reality of that word. Better than him. Though perhaps it wasn't so much of Naruto's fault. You still wouldn't choose my life over anyone else's, though. He struggled to not marvel at the fact. You would save us all. Well, everyone's life is important. Naruto agreed, and Sasuke opened his eyes at the wrong moment. Especially yours, though. Naruto was staring at him so determinedly. The snake in his stomach didn't feel so out of place anymore. Sasuke closed his eyes again, hoping that it was at least dark enough that his failed attempt at suppressing his smile wasn't noticeable. Dumbass, he called him. I'm still mad at you for not telling me about Kakashi-sensei, though. You? Sasuke flustered, and the moment shouted, Dumbass. He calls him again, harsher this time. Dumbass. Harsher this time. Why are you bringing that up again? I thought we were friends, and you just let me walk blindly into that. He pouted infuriatingly. I'm gonna be honest, it's a little OOC. I don't think Naruto would have cared that much. Let's keep it a stack. I don't think Naruto would have cared that much. But I will indulge it. We're indulging it right now. We're indulging in the world. So far, this is very uncharacter. I just think this particular Kakashi thing, obviously, it's suppressing an actual, like, deeper feeling that Naruto's grappling with, but you know, it comes off a little out of character in its execution. Which I guess could play to its benefit because it's more of a subconscious battle that he's having up here that he doesn't know he's having. So in his mind, it's just about Kakashi's face, but it's more than that. You know, it's more than grappling with the feelings of attraction towards dudes and his attraction to Sasuke. Anyway, exasperated and wishing for this bed to work its magic and put him into another coma, Sasuke rubbed the aching behind his eyes. I have no idea what you're talking about when you say that. Oh, come on, Sasuke, Naruto gutted. You have to have been in awe the first time you saw his face, too. No, I really wasn't. Sasuke assured, smug. Yes. Aw? No. Naruto sighed, grumbling. It's not fair you aren't affected like the rest of us. Affected by what? Sasuke beseeched him. Odd people, Naruto explained. Sasuke's eye twitched. Like you have Sakura and Ino following you around like puppies and just have the balls to ignore them, somehow. As if they weren't the two prettiest girls in our class. You can have anyone you wanted, but you push everyone away like they don't affect you. Even my harem jutsu never worked on you. It was too much to focus on. That jutsu is stupid. That jutsu almost saved the world if you remember. If you remember. Sasuke did remember. He didn't want to. Huh, we know why. But enough about that. I mean, does no one make you feel like you got butterflies in your tum-tum? In your tummy wubs? He could feel his body go numb at the question, though. All except for the snake. It's Mondo. Not butterflies. He didn't let himself stammer for long, or scoffing. Why would I feel like that from looking at someone? Shrugging, Naruto waved his hand, stating as if it was simple. Some people are pretty. Who? For example? A lot of people. Then he expanded. Sakura, Ino, Ashi Sensei, of course. He always was, but now it's just ridiculous. Gara is too. So's Neji. Hinata's really pretty. Now that I think about it, even Granny. But then you remember that she's actually ancient and it gets creepy. He lists them off like it was obvious. Pretty much all of our friends are. Tenten and Kiba. I think even Lee's pretty. Bushy brow and all. I don't think Naruto would say bushy brow is pretty. It's gonna keep Stackino. But a Stackino. Maybe Neji. I don't really know how Tenten is viewed amongst the village. You know what I mean? We just get so little of her, man. I pray for my lesbian queen. I can see him saying Neji. So, yeah. Kiba? I don't know if he'd say Kiba. I don't think he'd say Kiba. Not because Kiba's not handsome. I think he just wouldn't say Kiba because him and Kiba obviously have that, like, it's the boys, you know what I mean? It's like you don't want to say the boys. Okay, I do, right? Like, I don't have a problem saying my friend is handsome. But me and him are like Naruto and Kiba, where it's like, it's you know, it's not off kilter for us to do it, but it's still not something that we just always do. Nowadays we do a lot more than before, but back then no. Yeah. Am I just projecting how I am with my friends to Naruto? Maybe. Yes. Bishop Sensei is Bishop sexy. Sometimes I would think that Sometimes I would think that the people we were too, even though a lot of them made me really mad. The first time I saw your brother, I couldn't help but thinking he was really nice to look at. I should be reading this in my Naruto voice, but it's fine. Even though he'd been trying to capture me at the time, he was easily your second. But now that I've seen Kakashi Sensei's face, I can't decide who's prettier. Sasuke shouldn't have asked. He didn't even know who half those people are, and Naruto had just mentioned. Oh, the people who he mentioned doesn't know. Oh. Then of course there's you. And then of course there's him. What's Sasuke supposed to do with this information? What the hell does that even mean? He shrugged again. I don't know. Sasuke didn't know either. But you think I'm the... He can't say the word, not in such a context. Most? Definitely. He sounded so sure when he said it. Like it was nothing, like a matter of fact. A fact that Sasuke was attractive. Pretty. Whatever. But how? Naruto frowns. What do you mean? What makes me more than anyone else? How is that even a thing? Sasuke, you a fucking sexual bitch. A romantic asexual. He considered it for a moment, and Sasuke all but flinched under the analyzing look Naruto gave him, as if he was scanning in the information of the planes of his face in the darkness of the room. Eventually, he cocked his head. I don't know, I guess all of your features are proportion. Fuck that, Naruto, you're handsome as shit too. Stop it. You look just like Kushina. Mwah! Kiss you on your forehead, you a little boy to me. Mwah! You're strong. You're strong, but not bulky. I don't know, you're kind of feminine in a way, but not like girly, and for some reason it works in your favor. Your hair always looks so good, as annoying as that cool act you display is. Sometimes you pull it off, and that it ties everything together. But you're a really good fighter, and that's somehow part of it, I think. The first micro movement Sasuke can make was in twitching his eye. He was able to avert his gaze, heat coming up to his face for what felt like 100th time today. That's stupid. He diverted. Why would you let yourself be distracted by what you look like? Affronted, Naruto waved his hand defensively. Well, I don't do it on purpose. Not everyone is so used to seeing pretty people every day when they look in the mirror, so it catches us off guard. But it didn't add up at all. If Sasuke had to choose one person to give his obituary title of attractive to, he probably would pick Naruto. He couldn't pinpoint why he thought so. Was Naruto ugly? If you ask him, he was 12. Wait, if you ask him when he was 12, Sasuke probably would have said yes, for the sole purpose of pissing him off. But in actuality, wasn't. Sasuke would have been lying, but it was still too foreign a concept. This idea that some people were pretty enough to warrant giving a second thought about their appearance. Regardless, the notion that Sasuke only thought like this because he was so above everyone else was ridiculous. Couldn't even pinpoint what about his appearance people seemed to like that was more preferable than others. The mathematics of a symmetrical face, perhaps with features and proportions with each other. How is that more attractive? Is it symmetry? It's like, it's like a perfect circle. A circle don't look right if one end is like dips in. You're gonna be like, that looks weird. Where's that? What mattered more was who people were. Naruto was attractive to Sasuke because he was kind and compassionate and he cared for everyone. When it came down to it, and he understood emotions in a way that made it easy to talk to him. He was also an idiot who jumped into things too quickly and constantly bit off more than he could chew. But he only did that because he knew that certain things were worth giving all for. There's something in him that never knew how to quit. That always found a way to save everyone, even at the cost of his own safety. Naruto was the most attractive person he knew. He was the only person in this awful world who genuinely cared about making the world a better place. He gave people chances, and even when they didn't deserve them, that Sasuke thought was what made Naruto attractive. What did Sasuke have in leverage against that? Physical appearances are irrelevant, he settled on replying. Sighing deeply, Naruto lamented. Probably don't even know what it's like to kiss someone. Oh, where'd that come from? Didn't y'all kiss just like the other day? And then before that, uncomfortable, and I guess if you're counting the filler, that too. Uncomfortable again, Sasuke started to think, there's something wrong with him? There was something medically wrong with him. There had to be something medically wrong with him, like how hot his face felt. Haunted, he recalled the memory of a month ago when some demon had possessed him into stealing that kiss from Naruto as he slept. The demon! Religious repression! How soft his lips were against his own, and the gentle yet somehow fierce color of them in the morning sun. The millionth time he berated himself. A moment of weakness. It's a stupid conversation, he reflected. So, you never wanted to kiss someone before? Naruto lamented, rolling over halfway so that he was now facing Sasuke. Sasuke couldn't say anything. We know where this is going, but I'm loving the journey. Right? Sasuke couldn't say anything to make matters worse. He could feel himself starting to sweat, staring over at the passionate expression Naruto was given as he tried to press himself further into the soft mattress. Naruto's bed, which Sasuke had been stealing away and far too often. Choosing to delve into luxuries he never let himself enjoy before. Probably because Naruto was the only person who made him feel like he was allowed to experience those luxuries. Or, wait, have you kissed someone before? Naruto exclaimed. Yeah, dude, how did he get to that conclusion? Yeah, who? Sasuke blurted before he was able to control himself. Somehow, his anger at how dumb Naruto was being, making him forget that it was possible. Sorry, try that again. Somehow his anger at how dumb Naruto was being, making him forget that it probably wasn't wise to mention it the past times they had kissed. Those don't count, those are accidents, Naruto attempted, quickly waving his hands at them between them. He didn't do it properly. Turning his face away, Sasuke grumbled. This conversation is stupid. He repeated, unable to stop himself. He added in a small voice, "Fault. They were your fault." "No, they weren't. When did you even kiss me the first time?" "It was an accident. Sorry. Let me redo that again. Why did you even kiss me the first time?" Canonically, Sasuke does not know why Naruto kissed him, and he doesn't know that somebody pushed him into him. He just thinks Naruto kissed him. And canonically, he remembers the taste of it. He said it tastes like miso. Ramen. Of course it does. "It was an accident. Someone pushed me." Squinting, Sasuke said in disbelief, "I don't remember that." He remembered the way Naruto had been glaring at him completely unprompted, the dramatic idiocy of getting in his face in a feeble attempt at seeming threatening, but then the way he had suddenly kissed him. Sasuke's heart pounded at the thought. Stupid, but he couldn't recall Naruto being pushed. Perhaps he fell for something, but the way Sasuke remembered it, Naruto had done it voluntarily. Canonically, it's true. "The guy in front of us knocked into me." Which, was that Shikamaru, or is that dude who just looked like Shikamaru? I don't think it's Shikamaru. That dude's way too cheerful. Side-eyeing him, Sasuke considered this. Not that it would change anything. He had hated the kiss and all the other ones. It made no sense. Well, whatever, he said. Whatever. Naruto was quiet for a moment, just for asking. "So, I'm the only person you've kissed?" Sasuke spat. "So what?" Confusingly, Naruto laughed, sounding weirdly smug about it. "So that means people are jealous of me? What's so special about kissing people that gets people jealous about it?" Thinking for a moment, Naruto hummed. "Well, I mean, it's better when the person you're kissing is hot, but I wouldn't really know because our kisses always kind of hurt. It'd probably have felt better if it was intentional." Naruto's lips had been soft. He remembered the shock of it, the electricity generated, that he still couldn't decipher. It did feel better when it was intentional. His insides squirmed again at the memory. I've never kissed anyone intentionally. He was force made out by that one lady. On filler. What happened? This made Naruto frown. Wait. Bitter for some reason, Sasuke stopped. Kissing is a waste of time. Move on to something else. Sorry. This made Naruto frown. I don't think it is. Scoffing, Sasuke huffed. People gain from it. Naruto said it as if it was a question. He then rolled onto his side fully. You don't think it felt good when you kissed? I mean, I was kind of grossed out, because it was you, but it didn't feel bad. It didn't feel bad. Especially the one Naruto didn't know. But, like hell, Sasuke would admit it. Like hell, Sasuke. It's like you said. Just kind of hurt. Yeah, because we're all, because they were all, we crash landed into each other. Naruto laughed. As if he didn't think the memories of them kissing were bad at all. When you were gone, I used to think back on them when they happened, it was so weird, but for some reason, when I remembered them, it just felt like another bond that we shared. I don't think I would change anything about them, even though they did hurt a bit. Which is very, so I'm not covering the words. Which is very interesting, because if you watch if you look at any time they reference them kissing, they always reference them kissing is what I meant to say. They always reference them kissing no matter what. It doesn't matter what the compilation is. If it's Naruto and Sasuke, you're gonna see the kiss. Doesn't even make sense. But yes. It's almost like they do that for a reason. Sasuke blinked for a few moments, taking Naruto's words in. Naruto was on his side, facing Sasuke, who was on his back, staring at the ceiling. It was just another bond that they shared, truth be told. Sasuke had done everything he could to try to forget those memories. He failed at every attempt, and Naruto, the annoying little brat that he was, always managed to weasel his way into Sasuke's psyche. Despite himself, he could feel the corner of his lips quirking. I would have changed having our hands stuck together for those 3 days. Only now did Naruto remember. Ah, yeah. Actually, that wasn't great. He said sheepishly. But I'd be lying if I said there wasn't a part of me that kind of liked having you so close. Even though at the time there was a bigger part of me that hated it. Oh, sorry. Even though at the time there was a bigger part of me that hated it. He laughed as Sasuke tried to make sense of any of that. That wasn't to say he didn't feel the same way, just that it didn't make it any easier to understand. I like when you're here, he said, open, honest. This was somehow worse than Kakashi's brand of premeditated guilt. This was truer and more genuine. Naruto didn't mean to use it as a weapon. This is how he really felt. It sort of made Sasuke feel sick. I know that you still don't feel like you're a part of this village, and that's okay. I'm gonna change the way this place works, and you'll be able to feel more a part of it. He said, as if it wasn't something he was planning all on his own. Sasuke knew that he would do it. He would do it too. This damn kid never understood the meaning of giving. Naruto would come through on his promises. He always did. Sasuke almost depended on it. He could inherit the Hokage position because everyone knew it was definite at this point, and go spy as the most powerful person in the village. Instead, Naruto was planning on rebuilding the system so that kids didn't have to grow up without their families. He wanted to end the cycle of war and hatred between countries, giving people less animosity towards each other. Now Sasuke knew he would succeed, because of course he would. It was Naruto, and he promised it. As soon as he set his mind onto something, he found a way to make it happen. He once made an equally unlikely promise that he would bring Sasuke back, and here he was. It wasn't anything. Pause? Sasuke didn't need his always active Rinnegan to see it. For a moment, just barely, Naruto looked at his lips. It was dark, of course. There's no telling that Naruto was even able to see any of his features on his face. At some point, a few neighbors must have shut off their porch lights because it was darker than earlier. But there's a silver light that Sasuke could use to differentiate Naruto's expressions, and there was absolutely no denying where the line of sight had just traveled. Sasuke's heart thumping near his throat. Wasn't sure if he had gotten better as Naruto averted his gaze to the ceiling. Still laying on his side, Naruto seemed to want to bring the atmosphere back to where it was before, and all heavy and hyped. Right? Well, at least you don't have to worry about what you're gonna eat. Well, at least you don't have to worry about what you're gonna eat giving you bad breath, considering you never want to kiss anyone else again. It felt like Sasuke had just tried to swallow a mouthful of honey. I didn't say that. Fuck! Huh? Oh? Naruto said, sly grin overcoming him. Oh? You like Krabby Patties, don't you, Sasuke? But I thought you said kissing was stupid. It is stupid, Sasuke insisted, wrathfully, his voice raising involuntarily. But that doesn't mean you don't want to do it, Naruto goaded. Sasuke aimed a forceful backhand fist to his dumb head. Of course, Naruto caught it. This can make headline news, Sasuke. We could put out an ad in the paper for kissing candidates and make a record gathering the largest crowd in the village ever had. Sasuke didn't need another arm for his next attack. He had his eyes for that. For something like this, Sasuke found that he didn't mind using genjutsu, something he normally avoided. Gave the idiot 3 seconds of memories of select memories in time, where Sasuke had landed some particularly nice hits on him. It was too short of a time for Naruto to be able to snap out of it on his own. When he came back, he whined. That's not fair, Sasuke. It's actually kind of funny. He just casually uses genjutsu on him. It's very funny. But Sasuke disagreed. He was too lazy to get up from this ungodly comfortable bed to do an actual physical damage. And Naruto deserved being an idiot. Squinting at Sasuke bitterly, Naruto slewed. You know what? I bet you're not even good at kissing. Nice. It's Naruto, I see what you're doing. Sasuke's eye twitched. But who cares about that? I bet you'd be an awful kisser, he insisted, his childish nature at its peak. Perhaps the genjutsu had been a little too much. If this was how Naruto was going to react about it, it was only 3 seconds. Yeah, and Naruto had always been quite a sore loser. Yeah, you'd be too concerned with how stupid you thought it was. Heat flared in Sasuke's chest. You know, I could totally run around telling everyone out of a kisser you were. It's not like anyone else would know. I could do the same for you too, dumbass. Sasuke retorted. Oh, no, sorry. Switch it. You know, I could run around telling everyone how bad of a kisser you are. It's not like anybody else would know. I'd do the same for you too, dumbass. Sasuke retorted. How they had gotten here? Naruto and his ridiculous obsession with kissing. You're the one who went off. Who's saying this? Naruto or Sasuke? You're the one who went off on how fondly you remember kissing me. That didn't mean I thought kisses themselves. Okay. You're the one who went off fondly about. Wait, you're the one who went off how fondly you remember kissing me. That didn't mean I thought the kisses themselves were any good. That's because they weren't real. You said it yourself. They didn't count. No, it was because you're bad at kissing. He was infuriating. Shut up, dumbass. Maybe I read that backwards, but you get it. Make me, bastard. Okay. He wasn't aware of his next move. One moment he was seething, heat basically radiating from his ears. The next, Naruto was, this is gonna oral. Heated. Dare I say, this rivalry is getting heated. Right. My fault. He wasn't aware of the next move. One moment he was seething, heat radiating from his ears, and the next moment Naruto was under him, soft lips yielding to him. Air filled his lungs almost too rapidly, rushing from his nose, making him dizzy. Stupid Naruto. Like Sasuke was bad at anything. He could be good at kissing, even if kissing was really, really good, up this close. He could smell him clearer than what he had wafted from the pillow. Something sweet and salty and rich. It was a scent that Sasuke didn't remember having memorized. But he had to have. Because there was a nostalgia to it. He remembered the scent from multiple occasions. The vast number of times they had gotten into each other's faces in the heat of battle, both physical and argumentative. All of their past kisses, now that thought about it, that first time they had seen each other after the 3 years since Sasuke left. Been so close. Sasuke remembered noting the scent too, but he hadn't put it into mental words. It had been confusing at the time, but now that he didn't have to push the bond they had away, he could tell that it was comforting. It was a comforting scent. Naruto was comforting. Whatever the hell he was doing, kissing or whatever, it felt like something on the back burner of his mind. More confusing was the fact that there didn't seem to be anything on the front one. It felt like his body was clocking the information and simply sorting it out without the need for thinking about it. Naruto had made a noise, surprised at first. Turn down a little bit. Hope that wasn't too loud. But he quickly stilled. His lips were pliant? Don't make this another word. I gotta fight over. Pliant. But his body rigid. He's breathing heavily through his nose, staccato rhythm. So staccato, for my non-initiated, staccato is just like strings. It's a playing style of like a stringed instrument, like a violin or cello or some shit. So shun chun 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 chun. That's a staccato rhythm. My uninitiated. Sasuke didn't quite pull away, but he stopped the physical press of their lips. A soft, embarrassing, wet noise sounding out. Wait. When did they kiss? Am I stupid? Oh, bro, I didn't even catch that. I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I didn't even catch that. Deadass. Soft lips yielding to him, air filled his lungs almost too rapidly. Oh, okay. There it is. Okay. Boy. Sasuke didn't quite pull away, but he stopped the physical press of their lips, a soft, embarrassing wet noise sounding out between them. With loss of contact, Sasuke could recognize that electric feeling again, whatever the hell that was. And while it did feel like chakra, he could tell that it wasn't, or perhaps it was such a minuscule amount. There was a hand fisting in the air. Wait, hand fisting in his hair at the back of his head. Like grabbing at it? Just above the nape of his neck. Okay, so like a caress thing, like pulling him back down. This time Naruto surged forward. Sasuke gasped before they connected again. It was different. Naruto's lips were slightly open and Sasuke's hadn't had time to close either. But Naruto was leading this, no longer rigid as he had been a moment ago, initiating more movement than the simple press of their lips. They had done just prior. Very important moment. I'm messing up. We're gonna go back. It was different. Naruto's lips were slightly open and Sasuke hadn't had time to close his either. Naruto's leading this, no longer rigid as he was a moment ago, initiating more movement than a simple press of the lips they had just done prior. Sasuke had to have been panicking with the way his heart was throbbing painfully in his chest. When Naruto had his bottom lip between his own, he was faced with the reality of just how good kissing felt. It surprised him, making him falter. This is such a distraction that Sasuke found himself allowing Naruto to switch their positions so that Sasuke was the one pressed into the mattress. Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't know I was reading everything is embarrassing. Dreams. Jesus. And it was and it was then that he realized he was losing this battle. In fact, he would not let continue for a moment longer, so open mouths were a more effective way to kiss. Then fisting the t-shirt at Naruto's front, like grabbing it, pulling it, maybe? Sasuke let his jaw fall farther. His jaw fall farther? Pulling them both in deeper. Ooh. Naruto fell against his chest at that. Sasuke knew it hadn't been on purpose, which should mean that his attack worked. But the weight of him was so dizzying that it must have backfired. Even more dizzying was Naruto's tongue, which had licked into his mouth. The thought of it should have been utterly disgusting, but for some reason, his body welcomed it. If it was the tactic he could use, he would, so he did. He pressed his own forward into Naruto's. He tasted like their dinner, which Sasuke didn't want to remember, and easily forgot about how low groan Naruto gave, a sign of weakness, surely. I like how Sasuke is seeing this as a battle. That's kind of funny, I ain't gonna lie. A sign of weakness, surely. Groaning was a sign of weakness. He realized this when Naruto nibbled on his lower lip. Ooh, Naruto's going for it. That motherfucker's in there. He's in there. He couldn't stop the noise from escaping the back of his throat. Naruto froze at the sound for only a moment before biting down a little firmer. More prepared this time, Sasuke pressed upward. Pressed upward? Yeah. His hand finding the back of Naruto's head to pull him down as if it was even possible to get closer than they already were. The snake in his stomach was doing something weird. It was flipping and turning and writhing as though in pain. Naruto's hand on his neck and thumb over his Adam's apple was somehow part of the kiss. In the same way that Sasuke's grip in Naruto's hair was. The hand moved lower to the side of his ribs, thumb swooping along the front. How was there an electric charge from even that? How many times had Naruto touched him before, and how had he never once felt like this? Well, maybe once or twice, he realized, but it had been more subtle, easier to deny, those casual touches. How many times had he thrown an arm around Sasuke's shoulder? Had he chalked it up to having found it bothersome to be touched like that? But he couldn't deny that it always felt a little different with Naruto. Regardless, this touch was intimate. It was not something he would do as congratulations on a good training session. As he contemplated this, Naruto pulled back, and Sasuke felt himself gasp for air, having been subconsciously holding his breath somehow. Was the kissing over? Is that why Naruto pulled back? Did this mean that Sasuke had won? Definitely not. Sasuke went stiff as Naruto placed a trail of kisses. Whoa! He's going for it! Down his neck, why was he gonna kiss there? Sasuke realized instantly why. This hot, wet, suckling contact came against his skin. Sasuke almost cried out. Whoa! He stifled it just in time. It had tickled. Memories. This man, I'm going down nostalgia. I'm on a nostalgia trip right now. It came more than a tickle. He swallowed thickly, his hand balling the cloth around Naruto's shoulder. Oh, okay, like, gotcha. Shoulder. But what was he supposed to do? Say that out loud. His body did it for him, stretching that side of his neck as if guiding Naruto to the spot. After a few moments, Naruto caught on. It was harder to control himself that time. He definitely made a sound at it. Sasuke's vision was starting to blur. It was easier to just keep his eyes closed than fight it. His head pressed into the pillow under it. Back sinking low into the wonderfully soft mattress, and Naruto, with his sweet scent and okay, doing something like magic against his skin, pressed him further into it. Sasuke became boneless. Sasuke, he never felt safer. Whoa, let me see these comments, because these notes, what is this? Oh, okay. Oh, this was perfect. You're so good at describing the emotions of kissing. Like, wow, this situation with Sakura still makes me cringe. I can only imagine the fury if she knew Naruto would kiss Sasuke. The banter between them is so funny and cute and on point with their character. They would kiss after something like this. This is precious, and I really hope you continue it. LOL, thank you. I try my best to... Okay, this is them. 200k, oh my god, wow. I'm scared there's gonna be... I feel there's gonna be angst. I promise there's plenty more fluff to come to balance out the angst. Oh, there's gonna be angst. I hate angst. I hate angst! Angst makes me feel so... angsty. So, you know, does this job. Hate angst. Hate angst. That should be making me... That'd be taking me out, I think, so much. Okay, I gotta read... Okay, we got... oh, this is the wrong thing. Hold up. Trip. I gotta go to the next chapter. Hold on. We're gonna read a little bit of the chapter 5. Waking up the next morning held a title for the most peaceful Sasuke had ever felt. Something he didn't know he could top since Naruto topped him. Since he started sleeping in Naruto's bed. He hadn't remembered falling asleep. He remembered that they had kissed for a really long time, and that Naruto found other spots at his neck, and then everything went fuzzy. He still felt like every muscle of his body had dissolved. Naruto was snoring loudly on his chest, and the weight of him almost as comfortable as the mattress. And even when reality of it hit him, he didn't deny himself the comfort. He lay coming to terms with what had transpired, but not bolting out of the window like he probably should have. How had it even happened? So much talking about kissing and then arguing about kissing and then actually kissing. It became a battle between those two, trying to one-up each other like they did with nearly every other aspect of their lives. And with a groan, Sasuke conceded that it was one competition that he had surely lost. Scoffing to himself, he grinded his teeth together. Who cared anyway? Kissing is stupid. He felt himself blush at the thought. Stupid that they had spent at least an hour doing that. Hour? Yeah. And what they'd gained. The thought of Naruto at his neck overcame him. Then, the recognition that he wanted Naruto to do exactly what he had done last night again. There's absolutely no logic to it at all. It just felt good. That was all. Naruto slept for a long while, but Sasuke didn't have it in him to leave. Not that he could. He sure if even his sword embedded with Chidori would be able to pry the iron grip around his middle off. It wasn't so bad though. It was, after all, the most comfortable he had ever felt. And there was a lot to think about. At some point, his hand began trailing along Naruto's back in a slow rhythmic motion. It started doing like this. Though Sasuke had no memory of when it had started, or why, Naruto's back was rising and falling evenly under it. Another pattern is in the flow of the morning. The noise of the village beyond the window was distant, muffled. It did not disturb the flow as Naruto's soft snuff. I need a boyfriend. I want a boyfriend. This make me want a boyfriend. Damn you, fanfic. For making me romantic. I want to get romantic. Snuffling snores had outshone it, keeping in time with the rise and fall. Just as Sasuke had let himself close his eyes again, Naruto began to stir. It started with his fist on Sasuke's chest, which clenched the fabric of a t-shirt that Sasuke was borrowing. Then his face nuzzled downward, perhaps coming to terms with the reality of a heartbeat there. For a moment, Sasuke wished that he could see Naruto's face from this angle, but only the top of his blonde head was visible. He supposed his blue eyes fluttered open. Maybe bulging slightly as he took in where the morning had brought them. As he lifted his head from Sasuke's chest, Naruto let out a soft noise of confusion. Sasuke raised his eyebrow in time for Naruto to make eye contact with him. His blue eyes had been wide, and had gone even wider at the shared glance. He pulled back quickly, taking the morning with him. He stuttered, his voice extra gravelly, laughing nervously. He began to rub the back of his head. Sorry, I'm used to, I usually have a pillow to cuddle when I'm asleep. Right. Naruto was unaware that this wasn't the first time Sasuke had woken up to Naruto's arms around him. He had spent the past few months making sure he didn't find out about that. Well, there goes the bit of the illusion. He fought off the heat in his face, finding it easier to do if he wasn't looking in Naruto's direction. It's fine, he said, almost yearning for peace he was just in moments before. Now everything just felt awkward. Anyway, let's have breakfast. With that, he had all but leaped off the bed and out of the room. Even his eyes. Sasuke had trouble following the movements. It wasn't even possible that barely 60 seconds prior, the kid was nearly unconscious. This did not match up at all with the memories of seeing Naruto in the morning pass. He used to stumble to their early training sessions looking like death himself. He found himself mentally saying farewell to the mattress, something that he had been doing for about a month or so. Now every morning he left it sitting up. Sasuke was unnerved to notice the snake in his stomach again. Damn thing. He sighed to himself. Wouldn't do. Entering the kitchen to find Naruto rummaging in his fridge, now equipped with a small carton of eggs on the middle shelf, and a few vegetables and deli meat in the crisper freezer. Pretty sure this person is British or something. Sasuke cleared his throat. On a different frequency, Naruto chirped. Do you think you could show me pancakes today? Pancakes, Sasuke swallowed thickly, once again finding it easier to speak if he found something else to look at. I don't have time, he responded. And you don't have flour. It was silent for a moment when Naruto spoke. His voice was strangely high. Right, well then, something quick. I have to go. Sasuke insisted a little louder. You have to cook me breakfast, Naruto retorted. He could feel his eye twitch. Cooked you breakfast yesterday. And then you slept over again. He made omelets, the deli meat, and scallions. 2 weeks went by, and though for Sasuke it had been longer, there was some new guilt within him that made it difficult to both leave and stay at the same time. It felt impossible to get his legs to work, so he tried his eye. The Rinnegan had the ability to traverse through space. Curious, Sasuke had been wanting to see how far he could stretch that ability for a long time. Kaguya had shown him her portals, and with his combination of Sharingan and Rinnegan, he found that he was able to mimic a portion of her technique, turn it into something of his own. It took tremendous chakra, but the intricacy, difficulty of it was exactly what Sasuke needed to focus. He didn't leave the country, but he did leave the dimension, after leaving and staying at the same time. Whatever regularly visiting Konoha wasn't a habit. He should have fed into the first place, and he never promised anyone he would make these visits on schedule anyway. The insomnia had never been worse, though for the first time Sasuke was starting to feel it affect him, the way that experts said it should. In the past, Sasuke has been used to getting such terrible sleep that he was able to find a way to still perform his best despite having the fatigue. It was normal energy. Now that he knew what a true sleep was. However, his body had forgotten those cheat codes it had once relied on. It was as if his body was begging him to shackle it inside Konoha. He cursed himself for not letting it become such a routine. He couldn't afford this kind of weakness. He would not trap himself back in that village. Sasuke threw himself headfirst into mapping out the dimensions his Rinnegan provided him. He decided to start with the one that was blanketed in snow, as it seemed to be the easiest for him to manage. The bitter cold was a perfect match for his fire nature. He could lose track of time in it, because he was completely alone. The realm's time passage was a little wonky to him. It felt like a month had passed, but when he returned, he discovered that it had only been 2 weeks. And even without his insomnia, the nights were almost non-existent, as the sun stayed in the sky for the vast majority of the day, so he couldn't be completely positive with how much time he had actually lost. He would have to make another visit and pay more attention to the days. Having been in a separate realm, Sasuke knew his first order of business would be to return to Kakashi, as there would have been no way for the Hokage to reach him while he'd been there. As he reported back his findings, his old teacher raised an eyebrow. "Well, that is certainly interesting," he mused, piquing Sasuke's interest with his tone. "I mean, you seem to have spent a month in there, say?" You seem to have spent a month in there, say." Sighing, Sasuke crossed his arms. "I'm not sure if it was my own delusion, but I'll bring a watch next time to time it out better." "Oh yes, right." Kakashi waved on him. Oh yes, right, Kakashi waved on. I thought it was strange that you'd willingly missed your birthday. So... Fuck! Somehow, with all this new territory to think about, Sasuke had completely forgotten that absolutely moronic plan, that damn fake ceremony. When he had brainstormed the plan, he had always assumed that he would have just ditched them on the day. They would have come up with their own conclusions as to why. He would have been fine with that, but now, what day is it? Kakashi gave him that smile. The 22nd. Fuck. It had taken Sasuke a few days to travel back to the village. He hadn't realized. Kakashi pondered for a moment. It's quite lucky you made it back in time. There you go. Yeah, lucky he stewed on it for about an hour under some trees at the outer edges of the village. If he had just waited another 2 days, he would have been able to play it off. No. And they would have still held the fake ceremony, assuring him that the date itself didn't matter, or some other stupid crap. He should have played it the other way, saying that he thought only 2 weeks had passed in that room, and returned 2 months later. Now that Kakashi knew what was going the hell on in that motherfucker. He was getting out of it. Spiteful, he considered fucking it all. and ditching the fucking it all and ditching the village tonight regardless. With a sigh, he concluded that the fragile strand of thread that's Kakashi's trust would probably not hold through that. Besides which, he hadn't come all this way to not sleep in it tonight. So he found his way to Naruto's window, pulling it open to reveal that while the lights were on, Naruto wasn't in his bedroom. He hadn't planned on coming inside the room, as it had become accustomed to leave immediately for the training fields upon his arrival. Sitting down on the frame window, he wondered how long it would take for Naruto to realize his apartment had been broken into. He's notoriously oblivious. Not long, he seemed to have heard the squeak of the plane's glass and had to take a moment to piece it together, judging by the blank look on his face when he popped his head around the wall. A ramen cup in hand, he was genuinely surprised to see Sasuke there, but not in the usual way. The differences were glaring. Usually Naruto would gape and point, shout Sasuke's name in a comically boisterous way. Then he would instantly be blathering about one thing or another. Sasuke never realized how grateful he was that Naruto had always presented himself with an abnormal greeting, one that didn't require the pointless formalities of it. Dropping in on Naruto uninvited was never anything grand, never constraining. In a way, someone else would make it. Now, however, but with that almost empty expression, like a woodland preacher in a corner, Sasuke started to reconsider coming over. It was weird. Desperate to bring Naruto back to normal, Sasuke tossed a shuriken at his head. Okay. Jesus. Good lord. Shit. Like, goddamn. It worked. Naruto dodged it, bending backwards as the sharp weapon flew over his face, the thunk of it piercing in the wall behind him, making him snap back into his usual self. Hey, what was that for, bastard? Sasuke smirked, glad that Naruto was displaying his grand gestures again for a moment, pointing at the wall. You just put a hole in my wall! Shrugging, Sasuke said dismissively, you should have caught it. You shouldn't have thrown it. Working Naruto up into a state was always rewarding to watch. A chuckle left him as he hoisted himself out the window. Come on, loser. He didn't run with him to their fill like he usually did, instead choosing to use his eye to get him there. Waiting for him to follow, it took him a couple minutes. When Naruto arrived at the area, he's already sending Sasuke a scorching glare. You jerk. What if I didn't want to come? What if I didn't want to come and you would have waited out here forever? Then you wouldn't, Sasuke stated. I wouldn't have? I wouldn't have. Naruto admitted, his eyes somehow narrowing further. I don't want to kick your ass. Now that Naruto's revving up to fight was out of ordinary in any circumstances, but the subtle difference of this time was not lost on Sasuke. They did in fact know each other better than anyone. Then make your first move. He hadn't spoken soon enough. That was made clear. It was also evident by the fact that a shadow clone came out at him from behind a tree at Sasuke's back. That their usual rules didn't apply for this match. That was fine on his end, though. He thought as his Mangekyo activated. He dealt with the first two clones easily, but then popped up and Sasuke took a moment to plot out where exactly to toss his twine to tangle. Toss his twine to tangle in as many as possible, sending electric wave of Chidori through the strands. There was something about fighting Naruto's clones that was captivating by now. The ebb and flow of the particular form of battle was second nature. They had been fighting like this for years, and Sasuke was smug about how good he was at fighting large numbers single-handedly. His eyes never missed anything. I socked out a couple times. His eyes never missing where I'm at. And there's nothing better than demonstrating the extent of his power in a way. It forced him to be sufficient with his attacks, finding ways to take as many out with one hit as possible. Fighting like this was a logical puzzle. The sounds of the clones popping into smoke was always satisfying. Wait a second. Where am I at? I'm like a quarter way. Should we keep going? Let me read the final. No, not final. He chastised himself. Why did he care? The conversation was a headache. Bringing someone into those other dimensions was a choice that only Sasuke can make. After all, even if Kakashi wanted to throw his weight around as Hokage and order him, Sasuke was under no real obligation to listen. Sure, he wanted to prove himself as trustworthy, which is why he was taking on other missions, but was he loyal to the state that murdered his clan? Definitely not. Kakashi already knew this. It was abundantly clear, and perhaps Kakashi needed to be reminded of that. I already told you that you're not, Sasuke reminded him angrily. This isn't a mission, dumbass. It's just something you need to focus on your studying. It was as if he could feel Naruto's pain now. They had always been able to feel each other's emotions so well to begin with. He supposed that while it was a new concept as of recently, it had become something else entirely. Consciously, Sasuke could tell that Naruto felt lonely, and subconsciously, he knew that Naruto would respond best to physical affection. Having both depleted of it for his entire childhood, it was different for Sasuke. He had such forms of precious intimacy in his youth, ripped from him in his crucial years of development. It was an act that he remembered Itachi doing to him when they were little, placing Sasuke's head on his lap, and running his fingers through his hair. Placing Sasuke's head in his lap, running his fingers through his hair. Though the thought of someone other than his brother doing to him made him feel wildly uncomfortable, thanks to the way it had been so traumatically taken away from him. Doing it to turn Naruto had been strangely second nature. If he did it again, Sasuke knew it would be too easy to tap into that connection they shared. He probably would be able to read exactly what Naruto wanted. He didn't let himself go back, he insisted. Huh? Oh. Naruto stuttered, looking up towards the sky. It's a nice thought, though. Oh, it's a nice night, though. Swallowing the lump in his throat, Sasuke urged. Let's go, I'm hungry. Naruto, quiet for a moment, when Sasuke focused back on him. It was to see a sheepish expression. I mean, I've got ramen at the house right now. Sasuke could throttle him. At Sasuke's demeanor, Naruto quickly explained. I didn't think you were coming over for another 2 weeks. You shouldn't be eating that stuff for every meal when I'm not. Shouldn't be eating that stuff for every meal when I'm not. As Sasuke fell asleep, the night pressed into the clouds in comfort, longed for the morning when Naruto's weight would be against him. The absence of consciousness had brought them closer. Alright. We're gonna call that one there. Guys, you know who you are. Okay. Okay. Lilac. Everyone who's watched these videos, I super appreciate it. Vixen. Actually, I remember most of you guys from just TikTok. So thank you for coming over here, listening to me read these silly little stories, yeah. In my stupid little voice. Thank you everyone who's watching these. Thank you TikTok audience. I'm gonna post more clips on TikTok. Here's the thing. The thing I use to get clips, because I don't know how else to do it. I don't gotta have enough credits to like do the full thing, so you're probably gonna get partial video clips. But I should probably just stick to this episode, because this is a great episode. And yeah, I'll try to edit it down, but it's hard to edit these down when every bit of it is important. Unless I should be cutting like bits and pieces out. That would be confusing, but whatever. Whatever you want. I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was fun. I really like this. Chapter 4 did not disappoint. Although I wish it didn't disappoint, but I wish it did go a little bit further. You know what I mean? I was kind of expecting a little bit more in it. Chapter 5 is so far pretty fun to read. It was a pretty good read. obviously skipped a little bit, and we got some stuff. We got some good stuff going on here. This is good. This is good, right? I hope y'all enjoyed this. This is fun. Are They Gay episode 2, because I got a lot of suggestions from the comments. Are They Gay episode 2 or episode 3, sorry, will be, I'll record that one. Everything is embarrassing. I need to actually get into chapter 2 of. I did not read chapter 2 yet. So this is definitely something I should have. This one is a lot more, obviously this is a lot more graphic. Yeah. I think this one is my favorite things I wrote for this fic. Yeah, it's finally up. I hope you like it. I've read it too many times and it's no longer sexy to me. So it gets pretty wild in that fic. So if you want that fic, I'm gonna post chapter 1, and then I'm gonna post chapter 2. Okay. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and have a great day or night whenever you're watching, listening to this. If you're listening to this while you're cleaning, make sure you do those dishes. I see them. Do those goddamn dishes. I see them. All right. Slick. And have a good day.